Hello and welcome back. This is Wahid, a certified health coach. In a bit, we'll be talking about how to lose weight in a very simple way and how to get your body healthy. I do apologize if the video is kinda long. Please stay with me and you will have an idea how to do that. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today is a very important subject and it will solve a lot of problems that we never know before, and it is very critical for weight loss and having maximum health in your body. There is a switch in your body. It can be turned on and it can be turned off. When this switch is on, your body will burn sugar, and when this switch is off, your body will burn fat. So let's say you always maybe eating healthy food, right? And you exercise. Maybe you don't do junk food. You do a healthy lifestyle according to you, according to what you hear and maybe what you read. And you don't lose weight, like the maximum weight. So the question, ask yourself, the weight I'm losing, is it just the fluid weight or the fat or the real fat in your stomach and around your organs? Okay. So I used to be a football player. For years, and I used to play every day. If we don't have football game, I go to the beach, run, swim, kind of very active. But my thighs were always big, and I always had fat around this area, the hips over here. It never went away, never. But I felt good. I felt I felt healthy, doing great. But I always suffered from low blood sugar. See, let's say today I have a game, football game, and before I go, I used to have lunch. Let's say at 2 p.m., 3 p.m. and then my football game will start at 5. So I made sure that to eat a good meal before I go to play. So I'll be strong. I'll have strength. But whenever I reach the game with the guys, I always felt hungry. So I always pass by the grocery store and buy a Kit Kat or sweet. So because I feel like I really need it to boost my energy a bit. And I always asked myself, I just ate, why I need the sugar right now? And then I tell myself, yeah, so that's good for energy, so I will just use it and then to play the game. The thing is, I eat that, let's say, that Kit Kat, and before you play, you always warm up. So when we warm up with the team, after the warm up, it takes like 15 minutes. I feel like really like my body's going down again. And I ask myself, why? I was like 22 years old. I'm not really, old enough to have symptoms or to be sick. and I'm always active, but like there was something wrong, and I always felt it, but I never know why. So I always ask my friends, do you feel hungry like right now? And they always think, what are you talking about? So why I am in constant hunger all the time? It's not the hunger, it's like I feel dizzy if I don't eat sweet or something like that. Okay, so I just wanted to say that at that time I used to burn the sugar. That's why I always needed the sugar. So it means that switch I was talking about is on. So that's why I burn sugar. But for weight loss, you need that switch to be off to burn the fat in the body, which is the hips and the thighs and stuff like that, right? In my body that never burned. That switch is the hormone in your body, insulin. So if the insulin is high or on in your body, you'll only burn sugar. But if the insulin is low or off, you would burn fat. Okay, so the question to ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want to burn sugar or you want to burn fat? Because in your body you have two types of fuel. Only two types of fuel you have in your body. You have sugar fuel, you have fat fuel. And the only time you'll be starting burning fat if you have zero sugar in your body. The only time you start burning fat when you starve yourself from sugar. The reason you have fat in your body is a mechanism of starvation. It will help you in the time of starvation if you have no sugar. So when you are in a constant way of having sugar all the time, you will store fat. Let's say you eat sugar right now from sweet and bread, carbohydrate, stuff like that. So when you eat it come to your body and it will give you initial energy, and that sugar, some of it will be stored as glycogen in your liver, muscles, and some of it will be stored as fat. Okay, so the fat that you have in your body, around your stomach, maybe around your whole body, the fat, it's not the fat you are eating, it's the sugar stored from the sugar you're eating. You understand that? Let's say you're eating fatty food, fatty meal, that will not be stored as fat. The fat in your body that is stored from the sugar you're eating, because again, when you eat a sugar, it will give you initial energy, so it will boost you, but it's only like for quite some time, and the sugar will be stored in your liver and muscles, and it will be stored as fat. Okay, that's where the fat in your body come from. The overfat, someone is fat, it's because of that. So how we lose the fat weight to feel healthy, and then to feel good, and then have a shape, right? How to do that? And we just said that we need to make that switch off, right? Do you want to burn sugar or you want to burn fat? So if you want to burn fat, it means we need that switch to be off to be able to burn fat. So the question you have to ask yourself, how to avoid that switch to be on, which is the insulin. That switch will be on when you don't eat sugar, because when you eat sugar, sweet carbohydrates, it will come to your bloodstream, then your pancreas will spike the insulin, or will activate the insulin to go to your bloodstream and then load that sugar. It means your insulin is working. It means on. It means you only burn sugar. See? So we don't want this to happen. We don't want the insulin to rise a lot in your body to burn that sugar. So don't eat sugar. So the first thing we need to do to keep that switch off, so we don't eat sugar. You might tell me, but we need sugar in our body, right? So you need it for energy. Always remember, you have two types of fuel. You have sugar fuel, you have fat fuel. The sugar fuel, you don't really need it. Imagine the sugar fuel is like really small battery, like for the remote control battery. It takes a power, but it always finish fast. And imagine your fat fuel is like a truck battery. It's bigger size and it lasts long. So which type of fuel you want? You want a small battery, or you want a big battery that will stay long? They say the average person with the average fat in their body, they have, let's say, 100,000 kJ like from power in their body. It can give them boost from the fat burn, from fat, yeah. So imagine someone really have too much fat in their body. They call this fat is a potential energy. So the fat in your body also can be a fuel. I don't go more into that, but let's stick with how to keep that switch low or off. So we say don't eat sugar, because when you eat sugar you spike insulin, and then when you spike the insulin, it means the switch is on. We don't want to do that. So no sugar. Okay, so you tell me, okay, I won't eat sugar, I'll just stay on eating fatty food, right? But how let's say you don't eat sugar for a while, then one day you are fasting, and then you try to get the blood from your tip of finger here, and then see the glucose in your blood, and then you see like when you test it, it will be like 80, sometimes 100. Then you ask yourself, how that sugar came to my body? Like, let's say now I didn't eat sugar in 1 year, but if I have a device right now and I test my blood sugar, and then sometimes 80, sometimes 75. So ask yourself, how that sugar came to my blood? The sugar came to your blood from gluconeogenesis. It's from your liver. So some cells in your body needed sugar to work, but it's not really big cells. It's like small cells needed some sugar. So the liver in your body, the liver is right here, it will give some sugar. It will produce a sugar. We call it gluconeogenesis. That will feed these cells. It means you don't really need sugar from outside. Your body can make sugar, so you don't really need sugar. Okay, I will avoid sugar. And let's say you avoid sugar. Is that it? Is that all that? We are done now, so we're good. We can tap into fat burning right now. Are we okay? See, you need to know that there is the glycemic index is basically from low to high. It talks about the carbohydrate food that will spike the insulin. No, it talks about how these carbohydrates turn to sugar fast from low to high. Let's say the lowest carbohydrate food is celery. The highest carbohydrate food is jelly bean. So when you eat celery, it will burn to in your body, and it will not really spike the insulin much. But the jelly bean and the sugar, it will spike the insulin very fast and a lifetime, for a period of time. But what you need to know, there's another chart that they call it Insulin Index. Insulin Index, it talks about non-carbohydrate food that will also spike insulin. So if you avoid sugar, so there is another stuff that will also spike insulin. Yeah, what is this stuff? They say one of these stuff is when you have excess protein, like when you eat too much protein. That's why they tell you you have to eat moderate protein in your meal. So if you have excess protein, you will spike insulin. So when you spike insulin, it means the switch will be on. It means you won't burn fat. So don't eat sugar, don't eat too much protein, and don't eat the lean protein, like the non-fatty protein. So whenever you go to the store to buy a steak, always have the fattiest steak. When you buy a burger, always have the fattiest burger with the fat. Have some fish, not lean fish. You need to have fatty fish like a salmon. Say you're eating tuna, add some olive oil in it, and then that will be fatty, so it will not spike insulin. And there's some other hormones that also will spike insulin, but now let's just make it simple. So don't eat sugar and always have fatty protein. So in this way you won't spike insulin. Some other factors also will spike insulin, like stress and stuff like that, but we will just want to keep it now only for food. Okay. So let's say you don't eat sugar and you always have a fatty meal, like a fatty protein, and not really excess protein. So in this stage, you always tap into fat burning and you will lose the fat in your body because the insulin is not on, right? One more thing you need to understand, if you know that one, no sugar, no excess protein, and always have protein with fat. Okay. Number 4, every time you eat even a healthy food, your insulin will spike. Every time you eat during the day, your insulin will spike. Let's say you have breakfast, your insulin will spike. You have snack at 9, your insulin will spike. You have lunch, your insulin will spike. You have snack, your insulin spike. You have dinner and then snack before you sleep. So count how many times your insulin is spiking during the day. 5, 6, 7, 8 times. That was me before. So it's the best for you to keep your insulin low as much as possible by spiking it few times a day, 2 times, 3 times max. So spike it only three times a day, which is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't you ever have snacks, because you don't need that. Our most diseases and then problems, inflammation, comes from insulin, high insulin, because we also eat a lot of times in the day, during the day. So right now, just keep the insulin as low as possible by eating only 3 meals. No snacks, no fruit, nothing, because this is all food. Don't. So when you eat breakfast, make sure it's a fatty protein. When you eat lunch and dinner, it's the same. You can add salad, so you don't feel really hungry between the meals. Let's say you had your breakfast, like let's say eggs and bacon, coffee, then before the lunchtime you are very hungry. It means that you need to increase the fat in your meal to go longer to reach your next meal. By doing that, let's say it takes 3 days, sometimes weeks, from not eating sugar and eating this healthy way 3 times a day to let the sugar out from your body. So it takes sometimes 3 days to let the sugar out from your body. So when the sugar is out from your body because you're not eating sugar and you have low insulin, you will wake up one day not feeling hungry at all in the breakfast time. So don't eat. So if you're not hungry, don't eat. Just go longer and wait and see till when I'll be hungry, then I'll eat. So you'll find yourself not eating breakfast one day, maybe after 3-4 days, and you're only hungry at lunchtime. So you eat lunch and you eat dinner, then you eat 2 times a day. It means your insulin is spiking for a little bit, only 2 times instead of 3, 4, 5 times. And in this way, you'll be healed from inflammation and you will tap into fat burning for the most of the time. Then you will have the fat burning. And by time, you'll gradually, step by step, you'll go for 1 meal per day. Okay, so some people ask what kind of fat we can add in the meal, because when they think about fat, they only think about the white stuff that comes with the steak or the salmon. The fatty food can be variation, like you can have olive oil in your salad, you can have some nuts, peanut butter, you can have almond butter, the real butter, ghee. That's all fat. If you want to eat the chicken, have the skin with it. Don't eat the chicken without the skin. Have the chicken with the skin. So that will also call fat. Buy the fattier steak, buy the fattier salmon. So you'll feel enough. You'll feel full, satisfied. And you might ask me how to know what is the moderate amount of protein. For now, let's say begin your meal with a salad, because salad has a lot of nutrients and vitamins, minerals that you need to get healthy. Because when you get healthy first, you will be able to lose weight. Okay, always remember that. So yeah, so have the salad and then have the protein with fat. Let's say you want to eat a steak. You start with a salad, you finish your salad, and now you're gonna eat the steak. You tell me, okay, I want to eat the steak, but how big it is. For me, I always measure it like the palm of my hand, like that. But for you, eat when you're satisfied. That's enough. You don't have to eat more. And then just have this idea in your mind and believe in it, and then you will not feel hungry. Because how you are not feeling hungry when you eat fat? Because the fat, remember, the fat have a bigger battery, so you won't feel hungry only after only after long hours. But when you eat the sugar, you'll feel very hungry because the battery will finish very fast. So I hope this was useful and I clarified some ideas in your mind. Let me know what else you want me to talk about, and then I'll be happy to do so. Thank you very much. Have a great day.